Good morning. Well, today we're gonna take a look at hopper cars. This is one of my absolute favorite hopper rides. We're just outside downtown Johnson City. There's a overflow yard that's like 5 tracks wide under the Interstate 26 here, kind of over by the post office. Let me get on the other end, it's easier to explain. That was a end with all the brake pipe and reservoir. Now, a lot of people ask me, where do I set my gear? Because I can't get my molly pack through that hole. So what I do is I sit it out here on that center beam right there, and it, from the bottom to the top, it wedges in there perfect. You don't even need to throw a bungee cord on it. Plus it's kind of down in that pivot, so it can't go that way or that way. Never had it even budge an inch. Now let me put my bag down. There's like a 5-foot long by 4-foot tall space. Inside here, you can almost stand up. You just go through that hole foot first, I do. See, you got about 5 foot on the floor. You got a peak hole. And if you stand up, you can see, I can stand up with my head bent forward. And if you're riding with a buddy, you can hand him a beer, or he'll hand you a beer through that. And you can put extra, like your day pack or your food pack, down in that center piece, that little center. And your road dog can ride on the other end. I like taking some cardboard and putting in there. But these cars ain't been moved. Now, there was a few months ago a bunch of box cars down here. I'm not sure where they moved them to. It depends on clients, who is shipping what and how much. If there's a time of year where a certain product moves more than another time, they'll come get them box cars that are in the overflow. And the same thing with auto racks or grain cars, what have you. Yeah, there's a pin about that big around and about 5 inches tall that whole truck. There's one on the other side just like this, and there's a center beam that connects them through that pin in the center. It just rotates on that center point. And this piece here, all it does is sit down on those axles. There's nothing holding this on. It's just all by gravity. That hole right here just sits down over the axle, the bearing box. And then the Timken bearings, there's a bearing cap. You just take them 3 bolts off. And then there's bearings in there that are arranged around the center of the axle, and they're big long pins that just roll with the axle. Then you got your yokes. Most cars are equipped with ride control, some with piston, but when the train pulls forward or back, pulls the slack out, it kind of cushions those coupler necks, and it gives them a little more cushion to protect the product. Yeah, there's that peak hole from the outside. I usually stuff cardboard over it in case some nosy one walks by. I'm gonna climb up on top here. I guess I should have gone to the other side. No, I gotta cross here. Yeah, I'll turn the camera off. Alright, I crossed over. Went two rows of cars over. Now all them box cars that were down here for a couple of years are all gone. That box car me and Carla and Colby had Colby's birthday party in is gone. And that's cool that it's now back rolling again, active. We tagged it all on the inside. Now I'll see if I can't climb up top. Yeah, I gotta turn the camera off. I gotta have both, well, 1.5 hands to get up there. Alright, I got up. Well, that's a little flimsy. I didn't even use that. I was scared to. I don't see too many hatches like this. They're usually 3 long rectangle doors that are up here, and they flap open and shut. Whoo! Whoo! I don't know why that's not passing down, but it ain't. I hope the cop don't go by. The post office is right about between them 2 foreground trees. Matter of fact, I think that's it. That gray building. Yeah, I feel a little wheezy up here. I'm gonna go down another way. I don't trust that handle. That's actually a hazard. Well, that would have been a mean ball. But yeah, as soon as water hits that polished steel, it immediately starts turning. These ain't been in here too long, maybe 2 weeks. You can see where other people have been crossing here, stepping down on that rusty track, just right there in the middle. There's a couple of homeless camps. I don't see anybody. Hey, I'm coming. Yeah, there's hardly any traffic here. There's no through traffic. Oh, painted over my tag. Yeah, that's pretty new, I think. So yeah, you can see how hidden you are riding in one of them 2 holes. Actually, I got a couple of videos of me going from Ogden, Utah to Cheyenne, riding in one. It's when I had the Stove the Hobo bumper stickers. That one inside my bucket that time. But a lot of this stuff is chemical powders, alkali, and different powdered chemicals for making plastic beads that are being sent to be put in molds and make plastic bottles and a variety of plastic containers. But we just all call them grainers, even though they don't haul grain. When you hear the word grainer, you know what they're talking about. Have you ever see painted lines on tracks like that? That's so they know where to spot the cars. They aren't to proceed any further past that mark when you're up next to a switch. They don't want the cars hanging out across another track where that clearance, it won't clear one man. Where it goes together, you can't be hanging out because that train will get too close. But you can tell, I'll let you look at it again. See, this end has the air reservoir, the braking pipes, the brain of the train. That there controls airflow through the brakes or through the cars. You can do, like I said in that other video, and bypass the brake system if you're having sticking brakes, called the brain of the train. God, makes me want to take off. But it's getting kind of Christmassy, and I think I might spend Christmas with Carla and the boys again. Anyway, there is downtown Johnson City. That's looking more southwest. West. Hey, I think that's a TV station. Well, made it to Erwin. Yeah, I got a buddy that's in Elizabethton, Tennessee right now, about 15 miles away. Shabazz is his road name. We just call him Baz, man. Every time he signs off, he goes through the roof. But he's gonna try and come over later today, so hopefully if he does, I can get some video if he wants to be in it. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, these here are called frogs. F-R-O-G-S. Where one rail crosses another. You can see the center point right here. That's recently been fixed, because it always wears right in here real bad. Anytime your train shifts in this gap, it rubs on the flange of the wheel and shells, called shelling. It shells it out on the wheel and the track. Yeah, I didn't bring my gear. Just brought that day bag. But I am in Erwin. There's the car shop. Might go over there and take a look if it's not fenced in. That's a pretty darn big car shop. They do maintenance on railroad cars. Like that grainer I was on a while ago, it had that loose handle on top, that grab iron. They do stuff like that, like you'll weld that back solid and put a little tack weld on it. It's supposed to rain this afternoon. Another cold front coming in. I'll check, see if this unit's open. I should have brought my darn engine key. Yeah, it's locked. See, that shaft comes out over the door. Ah, too bad. Where you see how much fuel's in. Well, he's fuel down to right there. So that's almost a and these also have the same kind of Timken bearing. See that whole assembly right here. This piece fits down over that. And there's electric motors that drive each of these axles. Matter of fact, there's the winding. Maybe you can do up to 900 amps. Now this, how they get them engines to run forward and backwards at the same time. You ever see two engines together and they're one's facing this way, one's facing that way? Well, that red cord is an electric hookup, and there's different little poles that stick out in the socket that cable plugs into, and it runs across and goes into the other locomotive. And if they're facing face to face, that second engine will run in reverse exactly as this front engine does, because the cord's hooked up opposite. So whatever the first engine reads in forward, the second locomotive runs in reverse. Different air hookups for different equipment. This angle cock here is one it's for safety, to keep it from turning on its own. There's the ground air. Probably not even used. That hose looks pretty weathered. But these glad hands on the end hook up to the car's hose, and they push air into the reservoirs, and it kind of helps the engine to not have to do it. Yeah, maybe if somebody can leave in the comments what that DKPX, which electrical company that is. I know TXUX is Texas State Utilities. I don't hardly see any graffiti on these. These are probably the same cars that go to the same mine to the power company, and they really don't go through any large towns where the graffiti painters are. Of course, you don't see too much on coal cars. Now, that radiant thaw, that's where they heat the car. Like if that coal's been rained or snowed on and all frozen together, the radiant heat used to warm that coal up just enough so it'll flow out of the bottom here. They just empty the coal out of the bottom of these hoppers. That was built 10 of 06. Yeah, maximum 250 degrees. But that just breaks that coal up so it can flow out the bottom easier. Yeah, this one's locked too. 4 or 5 years ago, they'd just leave them open. But that's a DPU for the coal train. Yeah, John said this coal train's been here 2 days. There's a spare coupler part. Yeah, they locked. Oh, too bad. Yeah, there's a couple of areas you can open these side doors and hide and ride inside the engine room. Seen, I was going to open it up. Yeah, this here is another type grainer. Had a lot of these Burlington Northern ones like this when I first started riding. You can kind of see where you ride out here, like an 8 or 9 foot by 3 foot. You know, a lot of people can fit in that hole, but I can get in if I'm squatting. It's got them 2 humps. Yeah, that's some kind of mineral being hauled in those. You can see that talc looking glaze on them. See that white splotches? Some of it got spilt. See that? I got on one in Montana once. I probably hadn't been riding but a half year, and it started hunting, shaking back and forth. It was empty, but it was shaking all that loose fertilizer out the bottom. My God, I could smell ammonia so bad, my eyes were watering. I was so dang terrified. There goes the train master, I think. He just drove down. Yeah, he said all the workers here are cool. Well, they usually are, but I don't want to get used to people being nice. Yep, I guess I'll start heading back to Johnson City. Basman supposed to come over later. Well, I got company. I think they're gonna back that can't tell what that is. I'll go on and cross over. Look at all that coal. Yeah, there's where I was last week. And where I was a while ago was on that side of the yard. Well, there's the southbound finally, I think. There's going to be a northbound coal train coming from behind me if he's over there. I don't know, he's just got 2 units. Yeah, that's what that white truck was doing there. He was switching the track for him so he didn't have to get out. Dang, I should have brought my stinking gear. I knew that happened. Out riding when you leave to go somewhere without your gear, there's always 22,000 trains that come and stop. Of course, your gear's 4 miles away. That happens. See, just because I didn't bring my gear with me, this southbound comes in. John had said he hadn't seen nothing all day. And it usually leaves Kingport around 6 or 7 a.m. It's probably like between 8 and noon. Well, he's not really that late. I don't know what time it is. I think it's about 1. Nah, maybe about noon. So he's not too bad late. Dang, watch there be an open boxcar. Oh my God. I think I see an open... Would you look at that? I think it's open a little bit. Well, I don't feel as bad. It wasn't an open box. I'd have been mad if there was a welcome mat and red carpet rolled out for me and I couldn't go because I ain't got my gear or water. I think they all loaded anyway. There's another one of them nail driving, railroad spike driving machine. Still got a lot of good rides. Man, I wish I knew how long this was going to be here. I could run to the dollar store and get a gallon of water. Well, I didn't bring my darn coat either. There's a Cadillac. I love that sound. That click, 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 click. That's where he's driving over the point where two rails meet. There's a little gap. See, there's yeah, that's the ground air regulators. Of course, that pipe runs under the ground and goes to those glad hands I was showing you. There's a double barrel. I'm kind of shaky. I drink that darn Munster. I guess you could say I'm scared of Munsters now. Or the Munster got me. Well, this weather we got now, it'd be good to ride in one of them gondolas. Especially them short ones. I can get in and out of those pretty easy. Yeah, there's a CSX office hotel. I think that local coming in. There's a weigh scale. I heard it, I just don't see it yet. I hear something, but I don't see anything yet. Alright, I'll be careful. Well, I'm gonna try to locate that. I hear it. Yeah, I hear that. I see it now. There it is. Yeah, car shop again. Yeah, there he comes. That local. Only 8 cars long. Yeah, he went out and picked up cars around the local area.